Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, October 21st, or 31st. I can't tell time. I can't read dates. It is Halloween. It is the Day of the Dead, All Saints Day, however you want to put it. Still did not look the word up or figure out how to pronunciate the proper word for the Norse pagan word for Halloween, or their version of Halloween. But I did not jump on here to talk about them. I jumped on here to answer some of your questions. I can't tell if that's pumpkin spice and something else or what. My loving wife made coffee this morning for both of us. She wanted to get some work done around the house. I don't know. We're just waking up or just crawling, getting our day started. I have about 30 minutes to do a video because we want to get breakfast done and maybe do some housework. I don't know. But anyhow, I have a couple questions to answer from you guys, the viewers. One of them is Carla, and it says, "Does my boss know that this is my only job?" Yes, she does know it is my only major form of income, even though this is a minor form of income. But because of business tactics or business, how business is going, it is not a guarantee to have your full day of work. I get on an average 30, a little somewhere in between 25 and 30, which is nowadays, because of the way things have gotten with the government and whatnot. Nowadays, 30 hours is considered part-time, especially around here in Missouri. I don't know about any other state. My last job that I had over at Casey's, which was supposed to be full-time, I was lucky if I got 35 hours. So it is what it is. I try to make ends meet in whatever way I can. There are days that I actually stay my full shift, or there's been a couple times where I've gotten more than my full shift because I've either had to stay waiting for someone to show up or literally do a double. So it balances out in the end. But I am looking for, right now, because it's getting close to holidays, a lot of places are looking for a seasonal help. I'm looking for something. I would prefer cashier or something away from food for two reasons. One, I'm getting tired of dealing with people and food. I don't mind dealing with people, but when people start nitpicking over various things because we have a set menu and not set menu, a set proportions. Our menu is pretty much set, but it changes day to day, depending on specials of the day, or maybe we're trying to push for certain sales, or because we now have chili in our menu and it's getting colder, so a lot of people are eating chili. So work is work. I'm happy to be doing a job. I wish I could be doing a different job. I wish I could be doing a dream job, which I talked about in one of my other vlogs where I answered questions, because I can't remember if it was Sheila or Nelly who asked me what my preferred or what my dream job would be. And one of them guessed correctly: park ranger, something to do with the forestry department, something like that. Yes, I would love to do that, especially if I got the chance to work in Yellowstone National Park. But from what I understand from a couple of people I knew who were rangers in Yellowstone National Park when I worked there, they had to wait. There was a wait list for people who got to work there. And from what I understand, it's almost like the military. They shift you around different parks depending on availability and how long you've been working for the forestry department, things like that. But yes, Carly, she knows this is my main job. I don't have another job. The next two come from Mandy. The first one is, what age were you when you discovered your love for nature, and what was the trigger? Well, I only know stories about when my first experience with nature was, and that was as a baby in my crib in the Philippine Islands. We had these beautifully colored. I found what they look like. I don't have a picture anymore. I don't even have that book. But I found the book that showed various reptilian creatures of the Philippine Islands. And these little geckos were various colors, brightly colored animals. And they have the uncanny knack of being able to be anywhere and everywhere. I mean, like crawl up walls. Most of the time, they crawl up walls to get away from the particular predator. One of the particular predators that they had there, which were the various types of snakes. Unfortunately, most of those snakes were poisonous. Um, but according to my mom, there was two of them that used to like get into my crib with me and just like hang out. Um, but as for memory wise, I think my first memory of nature that really triggered things was, and it was actually in Germany, and it was the fact that Germany has mountains, and I love mountains. I love forests. Anything that has to do with a mountain with forests on it, I'm there. But in Germany, I used to walk around one of the villages we lived in, the village of Altley. Um, don't ask me how to spell it because I don't remember. But Altley was this nice little town tucked in the wood, well, in the hills, basically, or in the mountains, kind of, not really like mountainous, but it was hilly. Um, and it had forests all around it, and it had a variety of wildlife. And I remember the one time where we were living in this one spot in Altley that was kind of like up on the hill, right before you get into town. There was two roads. One was the main road that everybody took, and then there was that back road that some people took. And I decided to go adventuring, on a walk basically. And I walked down the road and found a trail. I walked down that trail, and that trail ended in this like, I guess the town used it for their big picnic parties and their outdoor events and whatnot, because it had a big barbecue pit and covered seating pavilion and a couple of little outbuildings, but it also had like this little pond. Now, I used to take breadcrumbs down to that pond once I discovered it, because they always had duck. They always had like mallards or some kind of duck in there. I used to love feeding them. So that might have been one of the many different triggers. But I think the final trigger that really struck a chord with me was, and I wasn't even out in nature. Somebody gave me a tape with nature sounds, and what really hit me was the fact that there was a part of the tape, and it was supposed to be a relaxational tape. I think it was given to me after my father died, so that had to be around 87. And they gave it to me knowing that I loved nature, and they wanted to give me something that would like keep me going. But what really hit me was the fact that in that tape was a nighttime scene or nighttime sounds. Scenes, I didn't see anything. Nighttime sounds. And one of the sounds on there which really called out to me was the resounding sound or the reverberating sound of a wolf call or a wolf howl. And then right there, it was just like, boom, this is my animal. This is the animal I would go live with if I could. So that was probably the final striking of the anvil, if you want to say. And if you don't understand that saying, I can tell you later. The other question that Mandy asked is, does Jerry watch my videos? Do I watch her videos? Yes and no. We don't watch our videos we don't watch each other's videos on a regular basis because, like I told Jerry, I do my videos more for therapy and whatnot, and just used to be when I started just getting stuff off my chest. And a lot of times some of the stuff that would come out was not like wasn't me trying to attack or complain or whine about some of the things that she was doing, and vice versa. I know she said stuff about me because we've both had people who watch both our vlogs go to the other person's channel and basically make statements like, "Oh, did you hear what Jim was saying about you?" or "Did you hear what Jerry was saying about you?" That's one of the reasons why we don't watch it, because it's like we both know that we're doing it for a combination of therapy and just letting steam off, because sometimes it is better to let steam off away from the other person, um, because a lot of times, like for me, a lot of times some of the things I say about her, it's not meant to be like rude or mean or anything like that. It's just, this is how I feel at the moment, because we both have, we both agree that we both have a combination of attention deficit disorder and various not so potent, at least for me. I know I need to go talk to somebody. I need to go see an actual therapist or whatnot and pay money, but I don't have money. So right now I'm using an internet-based free service from time to time. There's no set schedules. There's no set individual person you talk to. I don't even know if there's like a recorded case number or anything like that. I just know that I can go to this one website and start talking to somebody, whether it's text or mostly text right now, because video. I'm not big for video chats. Even though I do this, so I don't know why I'm not big on video sessions. So no, we don't watch each other's videos all the time. I know from time to time, either I've gone to her saying, "You might want to watch my latest video," or she's come to me going, "Can you watch my video and explain to me what this person is seeing and why this person is making comments?" And I'm like, "Okay, if you want me to." So, and usually when I ask her, I know she's always open minded, but when she asks me to view it, I try to view it with an open mind and not let it sway me in either direction. So, all right, the last set of questions is from, I'll tell you what, there's two people who've asked me some really good questions. Sheila and Nelly. Now, I didn't get any questions from this last batch of the last video I asked about, but Sheila has, given me. Sheila's starting to not only understand where I'm coming from. I think she's the one who sent me that gift. It was either Sheila or Nelly. I can't remember. I'm sorry. My memory for things are not the greatest, and it's one of the reasons why I'm trying to write more. How am I trying to put it? Write more of a diary or a journal of sorts. I have several different journal books. One of them I'm thinking about just getting rid of because it's got a lot of negative stuff, and I know I'm trying to stay away from the negative stuff, but it's part of life. Before I tell you or talk to you about Sheila's, one of the things that I spotted and I'm trying to do, as you can tell, I barely started. There's my bookmark, and that's how much I've read. But it's called The Story of My Life, and it's a Q&A type book. It asks you questions about your past, and you're supposed to write it down, helping you write your own memoir, I guess. I don't know. But anyhow, check my time. I got plenty of time. Okay. Sheila asked two different questions this time. She asked a couple questions last time. In fact, she might have asked me a question about the last video, or no, she was just making a statement. Sorry, I'm still waking up. That's why I'm drinking coffee instead of soda or juice or anything like that. Anyhow, the first question is, what person or persons would you like to meet, dead or alive? I don't have time to do both these questions if I'm going to tell you everyone. I'll give you my I guess top five, or within my top five. One person I'd definitely like to meet, and hopefully we can both speak English or understand each other, would be Leif Erikson. Why Leif Erikson? Well, not only because of the fact that he was a Norseman who sailed the North Atlantic before anybody else did in a very primitive ship, but ship designed and built strong enough and big enough to sail the North Atlantic and discover Newfoundland. Um, he's a Norseman. I have a lot of questions that only a true Norseman can answer. Um, that in fact that he was bold enough to be an explorer, which a lot of Norsemen were. They were explorers, farmers. Um, but yeah, you know, he may be an ancestor. I don't know. Um, Unfortunately, DNA.com cannot give you exact people. They can only give you a nationality or region. Second person, John Wayne. Why John Wayne? I grew up watching John Wayne movies with my father. That, in fact, a lot of the quotes and whatnot I found from John Wayne are like, where did you get the quote and why? What was the meaning behind the quote? That, in fact, that he was in my era, or in my family, I should say, John Wayne was a icon. In fact, I remember in my teens, even though Dad had passed away, I had the last house we lived in Arizona, Paradise Valley region. If you're from Arizona, just to let you know, one of the places I lived in Arizona. I had a bedroom with a walk-in closet. Now, I didn't need a walk-in closet, so basically the walk-in closet was clothes, my dresser, and whatever else I want to put in there, just so it wasn't in the middle of my bedroom floor. But the door was, closet door. It was a walk-in closet door, and on it was a life-size, take up the whole door poster of John Wayne. I had to cut a little hole where the doorknob was supposed to go just to put up the poster. So yeah, I had like, what movie was that poster from? Was it Rio Lobo or El Dorado? But it was one of his westerns. I loved his western movies for some reason. I watched some of his war movies like Flying Leathernecks and Fighting Sea and Sons of Iwo Jima. I watched those movies, but I would love to meet John Wayne. Another historical figure I'd like to meet, just because of the fact of what he was the father of, would be Leonardo da Vinci. Why Leonardo? He's the father of invention. I mean, he had blueprints and drawings for helicopters and tanks and flying machines. He also was a seeker of knowledge and did a lot of experimentations on the human anatomy and a lot of different things that spawned or born, however you want to put it, a lot of our modern day stuff, a lot of our modern day knowledge. So, of course, a seeker of knowledge would want to meet a seeker of knowledge. Another person that, historically, number 4, would be a draw. Number 4 would be a draw between wanting to meet somebody from ancient Greece. One particular person, now if I can pronounce his name properly, is, I can't think of the name now. It was just there. The father of modern day philosophy, which he was an ancient Greek. I can't remember the name now. But he was also a character in one of my Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And then the last person that I would like to meet, just out of curiosity of his character and whatnot, and all the things I've read about him, would be Actually, there's two others that would be well. The draw on number four, the second person on number four that I'd like to meet between the modern day, the father of philosophy and the father. Well, I don't know if I'd call him a father or what, but he's known for a lot of prophecies. Edgar Cayce. The reason why Edgar Cayce is because the fact that he did not write his prophecies in quatrains. I can't even remember that person's name. But number five, if I could meet number five would be Mary Summer Rain herself. I think I can gain a lot of perspective and knowledge and whatnot from her. There are a whole list of other people I'd love to meet if it was a possibility. But I'm not going to put more than five down because I'm already running out of time quickly. The second question that Sheila asked is, what meal would I order without having to worry about price or dietary, or basically with no worries, no concerns? That's also a hard one because in fact there's a lot of different foods that I enjoy, but some foods are a rarity because the cost, basically. But since we're talking about meals without cost or a concern about diet or anything like that, is also a list. Because I like food. I like to eat. I mean, I enjoy my food. Granted, I can't enjoy it as much as I used to because of dental issues. And if I didn't have to worry about money, I'd want to I would go to a dentist to get this mall fixed. But it would have to be sauerbraten would be definitely number one. I love German food, especially sauerbraten. Is a bit. I mean, anytime I go to a German restaurant, we don't really have many German restaurants here in Missouri. There's two places we go that I get good, authentic German food. One place is, it's literally a town here in Missouri, Herman, Missouri. Anybody who lives here in Missouri knows Herman. Herman, Missouri was commissioned by the King of Germany at the time, and I don't know if it was King Ludwig, the Mad King Ludwig, or it was a different Ludwig, but this particular King Ludwig was alive during the time of expansion where a lot of Europeans were coming to discover the New World, to come and find a place here in the New World. But King Ludwig commissioned a group of men to find a place in the New World here in America that has a lot of resemblance to Germany. Herman was their location they found, and it was perfect for them because it had good soil for growing grapes, hilly, almost not really mountainous, but hilly, like a lot of parts of Germany. So they settled in Herman. Herman has a lot of buildings that still resemble Germany, the old world, the Tudor style buildings and whatnot. In Herman, there is a winery called Stonehill Winery, and they have a restaurant. Now, you can go to this place and get tours of the winery and wine tasting and buy bottles of wine. And then you can go over to the restaurant and get yourself an authentic German-style meal. And they have sauerbraten, and they have Jägerschnitzel, and they have bratwurst, and they have all the different, German-style foods. So every year, or at least once a year, we try to go up there and enjoy Herman. Herman also has a historical building that has information on various people throughout the history. Mom found some of her ancestral information there in Herman, so we go up there so often to see the place. Now, if it was a no cost, no holds type situation, I would go to Germany itself and get a nice full course German meal. And what I mean by that is they have 3 course meals. Your first course is usually like a bread or salad plate, and then you get your main dish, which is like your meat of choice plus vegetables of choice. Now, if I'm going to tell you the whole thing, I would go get a basic German plate or a German meal, which is a plate of rolls with sweet butter or cream. Um, the main dish would be a portion, a German portion, which is pretty big, of sauerbraten with spätzle with brown gravy and red cabbage. I'm not a big sauerkraut fan. I do eat sauerkraut with like brats, but if I'm going to have sauerbraten, it's going to be red cabbage and spätzle or potato dumplings with the brown gravy that goes over the sauerbraten. And then for my dessert would be either an authentic German cheesecake or I'm going to say the German word and I'll translate apple strudel. And usually, you can get the frozen little individual things of apple strudel here at Aldi's, but in Germany it would be a chunk of apple strudel. And either that or it's a date. It's made with dates and figs, and it looks like well, if you buy it here at Aldi's, because they have it so often, it looks like a big round pastry of sorts with the fig and date spread, and then they do the lattice work quickly, and then I'll end this. Then of course, one of the things I found here in America, I was surprised I found it here in America. I found it while I was working at Price Chopper. In Price Chopper, when they made the Price Chopper here in Rolla, it's a big one, and they have a very big deli, and their deli is split into 4, 5 sections. You got the main deli part, which is your meats, your cheeses, your salads, and you go over and it's like their hot foods, their fried chicken and various hot dishes. And then next to that is this little area that they rent out to, I don't know if they're a company or a couple or whatever, but it's a sushi. You can get fresh made sushi. And then, of course, they have their little grill area where you can get hamburgers and get pizza and fresh made pizza and whatnot. And then they got their smokehouse, which is where you can get your smoked meats, pulled pork, smoked ribs, brisket. Or is it brisket? No, it's not brisket. It's well, they got like smoked meats, turkey, chicken, pork, beef. Do they have beef? If they're doing brisket, they have beef. I don't remember. It's been a while. But the young couple that was running it, I became fairly friendly with. I mean, we work in the same area. We kind of have to work around each other. I was watching them make some of the sushi, and I was like, "What kind of sushi is that? You've got carrot, cucumber, crab, imitation crab, and then you're putting like this weird orange sauce on it, and then sprinkling fried onion on top of that." And you're like, "Oh yeah, it's spicy shrimp roll." That's what it was. It wasn't crab; it was shrimp. Spicy shrimp roll. And I was like, "Oh, that looks quite interesting." And they're like, "Would you like to sample it?" I'm like, "Sure, I try anything." Well, I fell in love with it. I love it. So every time I get a chance, which I haven't in a long time, I will go get that kind of sushi. Now, they did not know me that well at the time, but I know what wasabi looks like, and they're like, "Would you like to try a little bit of wasabi?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I'm smart, but I also decided to play a joke. Turned to one of my coworkers and said, "Hey, you want to try some wasabi?" And I took the cup that had the wasabi and I like held it up, and he was like, "Oh, sure," trying to be brave, I guess, whatnot, because the way I talk. I try to be brave on things and whatnot. So instead of doing the smart thing, which would be to take a little dollop and try it, he shows the whole thing down in his mouth, and he's like, "Ooh, what is this?" I'm like, "It's wasabi. It's spicy horseradish paste from Japan or from the Asian countries." He's like, "What did you ask me to eat the whole thing?" I said, "I didn't tell you to eat the whole thing. I said, do you want to try some? I did not mean for you to eat the whole thing." And he's like over there, like drinking water, trying to cool down his mouth, and I'm sitting there going, "Bubba, first off, if it's your first time, never, ever, ever consume a whole thing of anything. Always try a little bit at a time." He goes, "What do you mean? You have you tried it?" I'm like, "Yes, I knew exactly what it was." "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Because I always want people to try it before I tell anybody what it is, because if it's too much for them, at least they didn't like try to eat the whole thing." But I ate the whole thing from him and had no problems. Anyhow, my 30 minutes is up and I need to end this. I know I'm kind of ending it short, but that's because I need to end it short. So anyhow, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, bring them, please, please. I'm writing them down so I can answer them. So don't think I'm just asking out of whatever. But yeah, write your questions down. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, if you're not a member yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button and a bell will pop up. You can click on that bell and YouTube will let you know when I put in a new video. So until next time, have a good day. God bless. Be safe. Enjoy the Halloween. Enjoy All Saints Day. Have fun. Bye.